against One Punch Nico. Freljord and Shadow Isles. So what champions are they running? They're not running any champions. So this deck has been made very popular by a certain streamer for the Evil Geniuses. And it's very annoying to play. It's a very slow deck, so that does help us out. So I'm going to keep both the Anivia and the Warding Stones in, and the Braum, and just replace the Alpha Wildclaw here. It's typically a very slow deck. And you don't need champions in your decks, because there are some very strong late game units still as well. So I suspect he is using that deck, because you can share your decks and play them as long as you've got those cards. I don't do that. I like to build my own decks. I find it more satisfying when I do well with a deck that I built myself, rather than just kind of jumping on the back of someone else's success within the game. Unfortunately, I say they're playing slow. That combination of Freljord, Shadow Isles. Freljord is typically quite a slow deck, and so is Shadow Isles. But Shadow Isles, when they go spiders, does have the ability to go aggressive early. Unfortunately for me, I didn't draw enough really early units, and so we're in a bit of a situation like we were a couple of games ago, where we're behind to start with. So I'm going to play the Braum.
How can Braum help?
Because we need that tankiness.
We weren't expecting bowlers.
And we are 7 HP down already. So we use the Braum to challenge the 3-2. Shadow Isles has a lot of cards that can deal 3 damage if you lost your ally that turn. Or you deal 1 damage to summon a Spiderling, are the 2 common ones. So I don't want to use the 4 to challenge the 4-4, because although that levels up my Braum passive quicker, it puts me in kill range of his units. Lo and behold, here we go, 1 cost spell that gives me him 3 extra damage and ephemeral. So we killed that unit that turn, fine, but we lost our Braum, not ideal. And we're going to take another 5 damage here as well. This is the problem with said popular deck.
They cannot strike what they cannot
Because
see.
this guy that's made this deck is I'm assuming he's borrowing the streamer's deck. I don't know, because it doesn't say the name of it, but I would assume so. And they obviously know how to build decks properly a bit better than I do, which means they'll have both early game options and the typical way they want to play the game. Whereas mine, as you've probably noticed, is probably a little bit too heavily focused on mid to late game. Which means if it gets to mid to late game, I win more often than not, because I've got more of those cards. But getting there is harder, which is why we've had to fight back for some really crappy deficits before. Which is suboptimal. So, because as I suspect it's a streamer's deck, they've had the early game option as well, which is why we're finding ourselves in quite a dicey situation. We'll attack with our elusive. Attacking with the elusive means we deal 2 damage and get 2 back because of the life steal. A 4 HP swing when you're only on 8 is quite handy. This is probably deal 1, drain 4 from an ally, so he'll kill his own unit, which has an effect of summoning another 4/4 unit, which will be very strong. And it will heal his own Nexus 4. I have the deny, so I can stop it. Unfortunately, Shadow Isles has some very, very strong late game spell effects, particularly the Ruination, which kills all pieces on the board. And I need to have my deny safe for that, and other late game spells like Vengeance as well. So I'm just going to have to let this go through. So they have 2 4/4 units. We have got some blockers, so that's okay. But they are in the advantage, the ascendancy here. And what's this? Black Spear. They killed an ally. Black Spear deals 3 damage to an enemy unit if you lost an ally this turn. so frustrating to play against. Again, same dilemma. I've got Deny. I don't really want to lose the elusive unit because it will gain me back some health. But I just attacked this turn and I need to save it. So, save the Deny. I can't even attack with Avalanche either because both of them are 4/4 units. So Avalanche doesn't kill them, just leaves them weak, and my units, I lose one of mine. So it's just not worth it in the slightest. Anivia's been buffed, that's great, but we are at the mana to play Anivia because of the warding stones. So we'll sacrifice both units to block here. And we have enough mana to play Anivia, so we will play Anivia.
A storm approaches.
Because we used our warding stones to block, we won't get that benefit for the next turn, so we'll only be on 7 mana this turn as well. Which is frustrating, because now if the Anivia dies, she doesn't revive until Enlightened, so until we hit 10 mana, so we will have to wait a few turns, and Black Spear will be able to kill Anivia when she's in egg form, so we do have to be a bit careful here. Having said that, currently they don't have enough damage on theirs because the Anivia buff got buffed by the Omen Hawk, so I'm just going to straight open attack with the Anivia here. So the Glacial Storm, we'll hopefully get to see the animation this time because it got cancelled every single time last time. There we go. So we'll deal 1 damage, they didn't want to block it, and we'll deal 3 damage with Anivia. And now they passed. So they passed quickly, which means I assume they don't have a unit in their hand, they just have spells. It's possible they have Vengeance, which is a 7-cost spell, and kills any unit regardless of health. So I need to keep my Deny for that, so that's good. Oh. So I will play the Scar Maiden here so that we can block some damage, hopefully buff our own unit up.
Will burn. Your scars speak of many long winters.
Fading Memories. Create a... I didn't see that. It went too quickly. Pick a follower, create an ephemeral copy of it in hand. So they copied my Scar Mother. So they have a version of it in their hand as well now. Right, I can't kill one, so I want to play Avalanche to kill one of their 4/4s and to buff up my Scar Mother. But if I do so, I put Anivia into Black Spear range. And because I'll have killed one of their units, they will actually be able to use Black Spear. Whilst I have Deny, I won't be able to play both in the same turn, so I'm just going to have to pass. They will probably pass here as well, yeah. And their attack. We're in a better position than we were in a couple of turns ago. We've kind of brought it back a little bit here.
Hello there.
The problem here with playing my ephemeral, my elusive unit, is it's 7 mana. So it leaves me with enough mana to Deny or to Avalanche, but not for Harsh Winds. And Frostbite might be important. Having said that, I need them to deal some damage to the Scar Mother, so Frostbite's a little bit anti-synergy at the moment. So we'll... oh, wrong card. We'll play the elusive unit. Because having enough for Deny is the priority, and having enough for Avalanche is, as a fallback, is also quite important. Avalanche is a very good anti-aggression spell. Okay, so now we're starting to get some of our strong late game unit cards as well, so that's good. And we're 1 round away from Anivia leveling up, which is super good. So I'm going to attack with everything this turn,
I bring the storm.
which is ballsy, but we have the spell and the mana available to cast Deny and Harsh Winds. So we commit the attack. Elusive can't be blocked, so we get 7 damage, and Glacial Storm will deal 1 damage to all units, and to the Nexus as well. So we will kill one of their units, which means Black Spear does become an option, but none of our units are low enough, so we should be okay.
I
unless he plays a Vengeance and then Black Spear to kill Anivia and Egnivia. Oh, Atrocity. So, kill an ally to deal damage equal to its power to anything. So we could use the Deny here to stop that spell, but we can also use the Take Heart to buff up the Scarmother, saving our Deny, meaning we are no longer killed by the Atrocity spell effect, because we only take 4 damage, and we buff up our Scarmother. So that actually was a really good turnaround. Now, they have no units, we have 3 on the board, and we still have the mana available. So we've now kind of turned this. Anivia levels up.
This is our time.
Starting to feel a bit more confident now. Maybe, just maybe with this. They only have 7 HP, and I have 7 power on my elusive unit. The good thing about them playing Freljord and Shadow Isles, I know that they have no elusive units. So they need to have a challenger unit, or they need to have Vengeance or something like that, which will kill my elusive unit. I want to play She Who Wanders here. So it has an Obliterate, so all followers with 4 or less power in play and in hands are destroyed. Any spell effects that they have, they're destroyed. Olivia's a champion, she's not a follower, so that's fine, she stays alive. Both of my other units have more than that, but this unit that they played dies. I'm not sure they have another unit in hand. It makes sense.
You know eternity.
It keeps us with the numbers advantage on the board, because we also got to play a 10-10 unit, and I think they might surrender soon, because I don't think they can win this now. Yeah, they passed, so they end the round. Our attack, if we play a unit, they have the ability to play a unit back, but we don't have a unit, so we're just going to immediately attack. We've got the elusive 7 damage, 12 damage from here, the Anivia and the Glacial Storm, as well as the 10. They surrendered. Beautiful! Sometimes I wish they didn't surrender, so that we could actually have the nice effects, because the Glacial Storm effect is different when it's at 2 power, when it's a leveled up and enlightened Olivia. But we survived again. We survived the difficult early game. That's the thing with this deck that I've built in particular. If you can survive the quite difficult early game, you tend to have the stronger power towards the later stages of the game, which is very, very useful. But often I do lose games very quickly, and there's not often a lot you can do about it. You just have to kind of suck it up.